Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My dear students, hope you all are fine and hale. Here is Amna Abdullah to welcome you all in your new class. I am so excited to have you all here into the new world of physics. To start today's lecture, I would like to introduce the chapters in your book and what you are going to study in your physics part 2. First chapter is about the electrostatic, in which you will study about the charges at rest. Then charges are moving and they are generating current. You will study in the chapter number 2 current electricity. Then electromagnetism is the relation between electricity and magnetism, and there so many applications in our daily life. Electromagnetic induction is another chapter in which in detail you will study about the mutual induction, the production of current and electric field due to one coil or one apparatus to the another instrument. Alternating current, you are well familiar about the DC current and AC current. You studied in your previous class the difference between them. Here in this chapter in detail you will study inshallah about AC generator and the application of AC current in your daily life. Next one is the physics of solids. You will study here about the crystals, the internal structure of solid, in the matter, how the matter formed in the form of crystals. Electronics is another chapter in your book. You studied about the logic gates in your previous book and use their limited uses. Now here you will detailed study about the formation, production of electronic devices, their making, and how they working, where logic gates are behind them. Dawn of modern physics is another chapter. You will study about the different theories of physics, that wave particle nature and so many other theories, relativity and many other things inshallah you will explore here. Atomic spectra, atomic structure will be shown there. You will discuss the different structures of atom and their formation. Nuclear physics is the last chapter of your book, in which you will deeply study about the nucleus and the things inside the nucleus. So today inshallah you will start first chapter of electrostatics with me. Electrostatics, you have to define what is electrostatic first. So electro and static, static means stationary, ठहरा हुआ, रुका हुआ. So electrostatic is the description or phenomena in which you study about the charges at rest. There is no motion in the charges because they are in equilibrium due to a strong forces between them. Now what forces between them? We discussed about positive charge and negative charge. Positive charge and negative charge attract each other if they are same charges, means positive charges repel each other, and opposite charges, positive negative charges, will attract each other. This is a very basic thing. I hope you all know about it. So in the electrostatic, you will discuss about the stationary charges, and when you talk about things charge, so you will describe this unit as a unit of charge, which is coulomb. This is the name of the scientist who did lot of work on charges. So 1 coulomb, the value is 6.25, approximately 248 is the exact value, into 10 raised to power 18 electron. So in 1 coulomb, how many number of electrons? 6.25 into 10 raised to power 18. Now my dear student, the first and a very important topic of your chapter is about Coulomb's law in vector form. You studied about the Coulomb law very briefly and in your previous class, but here in detail you will discuss how the vector representation of this law. There are two types of quantities, scalars and vectors. In scalars, only magnitude is discussed, and in vector quantities you also describe the direction. And Coulomb's law deal with the force. Which force of attraction or repulsion between the point charges. One thing should be clear, what is point charge? We mean it. Point charges are the charges of the size whose size means the size of the charges is smaller than the distance between them. Means distance between these charges, either they are positive or negative, should not be should not be smaller than their size. So if we talk about the basic statement, general statement of this law, this is very clear, and you will learn it as it is. The force of attraction or repulsion between 2 point charges is directly proportional to product of the charges and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. We are talking about force here. So whatever you are applying the force, wherever you are applying the force always applied in some specific particular direction. That is why force is a vector quantity. So if you can say clearly here the formula of Coulomb's law: force K Q1 Q2 over R square. Here Q1 Q2 are the point charges and R is the distance between them. Furthermore, we will explain more about the mathematical relation proportional Q1 Q2 and R square and inversely proportional to R square, the distance between the charges. Combine them, you will remove the proportionality sign. Here the proportionality constant, this constant is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught. This epsilon naught is actually the permittivity of free space, because you are discussing about the charges in the free space. But this is not so sure कि आप हमेशा you will not use the free space. There may be insulator and some another material between the charges. Later on we will discuss about it. Here the value of K 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught comes, if we apply the value of epsilon naught, that is 8.85 into 10 raised to power minus 12 coulomb square per Newton per meter square. This unit you can easily derive this unit by rearranging the above formula. K is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught. So the value, by putting this epsilon naught, value of K comes 9 into 10 raised to power 9 Newton meter square per coulomb square. Is it clear? Now come on specifically vector form of Coulomb's law. In the given picture, there are two forces. One force of charge Q1 which is acting on charge Q2, and another force is F12 which is of charge Q2, and the R is the distance between them. Now again clearly you can see that if the force of charge 1 is acting on 2, it is represented by F21, and if charge 2 is acting on 1, it is represented by F12. If the force F21 is acting on charge Q2, this force is basically by Q1 apply on Q2. Again I am repeating, this is the force by charge Q1 which is acting on Q2. So that will be written in the vector form K Q1 Q2 over R 1 2 square, and where R12 is the unit vector. What is the definition of unit vector? Unit vector is used to precisely describe the direction of a vector. And how we can calculate the unit vector? Do you remember the formula? You studied in your first year, chapter number 2. The formula was the actual your vector divided by its magnitude. So this gives the unit vector. Now come back, and if you want to calculate the force F12, here the formula of force F12 means the force exerted on Q1 by the Q2. Previously we studied the force on Q2 by Q1, here on Q1 by Q2. So you please don't confuse these two forces. Actually the force F12 is the force on Q1, sorry, by the charge Q1, and F12 is by the charge Q2. This is very simple and easiest concept, clear by the picture given in your book, and there is no confusion in this concept. Hope you are understanding well. This unit vector is, these two unit vectors are basically, if we make them in a diagrammatic form like the head to tail rule, so we can describe the vectors by the head to tail rule. From the head to tail rule, it is very clear that F12 is equal to minus of F21, because if we collectively draw the diagram for vector, distance r12 and r21, these unit vectors gives that negative sign. The negative sign shows the opposite direction in the case when the charges are same, and in the case when the charges will be opposite, charges are opposite, so these charges attract each other. So here you can see the formula F12 k q1 q2 over r12 square, which is minus r12 unit vector, because r21 is equal to r12. So in the value of, in the place of r21, you can put r12 unit vector, but along with the negative sign. So conclusion is that the force acting on charge Q2 by Q1 is equal to the force acting on charge Q1 due to the charge Q2, but in the opposite sign. So students, this is very clear concept. Now the very important thing to discuss here is the space between these point charges. Initially I told you this space between these point two charges, if we take a free space, means air, no medium between them, so we use the permittivity of free space epsilon naught. But if we consider there is some medium between them, that medium should be paper or any insulator or maybe any medium. So in this case this is called dielectric medium, and this is represented by epsilon r, which is also called as dielectric constant. So if we introduce the dielectric constant, the formula of force become, the force, electrostatic force, is become 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught epsilon r q1 q2 over r square, and 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 over r square is the formula you initially discussed about the F. So if we connect these force, means with the force of a dielectric medium, it will become F dash is equal to F over epsilon r. Epsilon r, once again I am telling you, this is the relative permittivity of some insulator material, insulator medium between the point charges. So students, this is the today's lecture. This is a very simple and easiest topic. We are not going to discuss further more things today, because this is start of your physics book. So it's this is a simple topic we studied yesterday, today, and in upcoming days inshallah we will explore lot of topics. Jazakallah khaira. Hope you will completely understand and learn this topic. Thank you so much. Jazakallah. Allah Hafiz.